How do you feel, guys? Good, I'm tired, but show me your thumbs. Okay, wow.
Ciao, Michele. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meeting you. Ciao tutti. And I'm Michele. I'm from Italy, and I have a lot of passion. I really love to meet people and share like emotional stories and to connect in a human way, not only like working way.
This is a collaborative digital ethnography project. So where kind of undergraduate students, graduate students, lecturers, and kind of sometimes professors and artists kind of come together to kind of ethnographically explore TikTok. And what that means is basically try to be immersed in TikTok as much as possible, kind of interview people and kind of go through TikTok and try to get a sense of what it is. We kind of come here every fortnight and kind of discuss like, oh, like what did we see on TikTok? What did we think this was about? What was this like, let's all get rich, like hashtag was about? What is food TikTok? What is witch talk? And so we talk about that and what we think it's about. Yeah, so that's how this kind of project started. What is your TikTok channel about?
So it's about myself, my passion, my authenticity, mainly, and all the things that I love, that through playing and through exploring and surprise, I share with the world. It's all started one day when a friend of mine told me, Michele, you have a lot of passion, you know a lot of things, and you need to find a way to donate and to share all these things with more people. And after a few years, I discovered Musically before their branding, and I didn't understood what was like people that were dancing in a strange way, doing lip sync, and it was like, why they are doing like this doesn't make any sense in my world. And after like I think a year, I saw different trends about authenticity, about showing part of the body, or vulnerabilities, and that was also with the dance, with the music, and that was something that really gave me a sense of, oh, this is different. I never seen a social where people get exposed and can expose their authenticity, and this was happening mainly in US. And in Italy, we were still doing lip sync and dancing. And so for this reason, I started to share my passion, my stories. And from that was what I discovered through my journey about the curiosity and sharing food, what I eat, and also my mission for the world.
Just had one more question to that quickly before. And can you recount your kind of the first video that you made where you kind of realized like, oh shit, like I'm on TikTok now, because you have a lot of followers now. So when can you take us on like try to capture what that was like for you, maybe?
Yeah. So the journey was the first video that worked was like a video of a cat that I saw in Tuscany, and I shoot this cute cat, and like as cats are like really popular on the web, it went like viral, and it got like 38,000 visualization in a few hours. I remember, I'm not sure, but and it was like, wow, I don't have anyone that is following me, but this cat like was liked from a lot of people. And that was the first time. And then because I saw that, the first video was the story where I lost, I found it again, like in a field of chamomile, because I lost it like doing a jump, taking a picture, and in the picture you can see my jump flying, like my glasses flying. And thanks to the picture, I was able to find the glasses after an hour of searching at 6 a.m. And I told this story, and I saw that people were kind of interested. And after that, I started to sharing the curiosity about my kitchen, of the things that I was doing in an interactive way, because I really wanted to connect with the people. But it was a game, so it was like a fun things to do in my spare time. Then the illumination and the insight came when I started sharing food recipe, and I've done the recipe of the minestrone, like the soup, and in like a few hours I got 200,000 visualization with a lot of comments, some like joking and some like that were saying, wow, how in the way that you eat vegetable, I am really passionate about the emotion that you give on vegetable, and so maybe I will try to eat some vegetable. Maybe I will ask to my grandmother to make the minestrone. And so I thought, wow, I took like 3 hours of my life to create a content that was seen for 150,000 hours of people time. It's like one person that look at the screen for like 60 days. Like it's in an incredible amount of time, like 3 hours of my time, 60 days of people. And so this is like a super impact for me, and I can really go in the into the life of other people and maybe change a small things, that it's like emotion through vegetable. And changing emotion through vegetable means that maybe you are gonna eat one steak less and one minestrone more, and that's mean that I can affect the climate change. And so I can become a really powerful activist, just sharing the things that I love and the things that I believe in without a lot of effort. That's the main insight.
Nice. Anyone who wants to take the next question?
I was just going to ask you, you're saying you had a lot of comments on it. Do you find that that's because there seems to be at every kind of, whenever there's some kind of famous video, there's a whole dialogue that goes on in the comments that's in some ways completely unrelated to the video itself or the content or like the creator or whatever. Like, do you find with like some of your more like popular videos, do you find yourself going through and engaging with that, or is it more of a kind of like you let it run away?
So let me understand like the question.
Sorry, yeah.
The question is like in some like the bigger video, I got like comments that are not related to the content. Is that the question? And if I try to engage with the comments.
Comments a lot.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a whole other world that's created in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yes. So to me, like that was also a challenge, because I tried to keep up answering to the comments, or mainly to the meaningful one, but also to the one that some people just want to be seen. And through the comments, just acknowledge that you are existing. For some people, it's like just a way to connect with them. And just a comment can really change the way someone feel. So yes, I try to create a discussion to maybe ask question or to answer, and not to ask too many questions, because if it's like my time is limited, and when you have a lot of comments, like there were some days where I had to invest like 4 hours answering comments and keeping up with the comments. and thanks to that, I really learned a lot of things that I didn't know. So to me, it was like also meeting people through TikTok, like that now are friends, are people that I know, and sometimes I really trust, or some people that are just pen friends that are there. Sometimes they write me something on Instagram, and it's kind of cool. So yes, interaction to me is really important.
And how do you start up those relationships with people that you meet over TikTok? Because I feel like I always see people talking about their TikTok friends or like mutuals and stuff. Like, do you just message them and follow them, or is it
TikTok, because if you don't follow each other, you cannot write. So usually they write something, and then from them, like the discussion go through Instagram DMs, and through Instagram DMs you can go on a deeper relationship, a private relationship, and from that, like some friendship. Like I met a guy that is in Lisbon, and we organized like game nights with other friends, or like we watched together Soul from Disney, and it was super cool because we had the same passion about games, about movies, and we shared with also other friends. So thanks to him, I met also other interesting people.
I was really interested in something you said. You said that some people just want to be seen.
I thought that you were taking notes.
Yeah, I was writing down a few of your comments. I also loved what you said about people time, 150,000 hours of people time. That's a really nice phrase. But yeah, how do you know that people just want to be seen rather than kind of engaging? Yeah.
One of the first, also I'm speaking about young people, so kids that are still on TikTok. And the first comment that you got on the video is usually, when you're an influencer, is ciao, or I'm the first, or please say hello to me, mi saluti. They say mi saluti. And that's mean I'm the first one, I'm here, I'm before the other one. I want to be seen, I want to be acknowledged. And this on TikTok is really strong. Like I never seen on other social network, maybe on YouTube that they say first, but on any other social network that see mi saluti. And I have a lot of kids that write me, Michele mi saluti. And I write ciao. It's like, why you're doing that? And for them is like being acknowledged for someone that is like an idol. I don't want to be called an idol, but they also call me an idol. I prefer to be an inspiration, not to be like put in a pedestal, but you can learn something from me, and you can take whatever you want, and you can give. I don't want to be like a god, as other influencers do. Did they answer? And okay, I have another things about that. That is one of the most difficult parts of TikTok is getting hate comments. Also, hate comments are people that want to be seen. And they use their negative emotion to bring their energy, and with their energy they want to be answered. And the things that I do usually when someone critiques me, I have a strategy. The first one is to detach myself from the emotional content, because sometimes like you get hurt, like you really get hurt, like I'm a human. Like the second strategy is to be curious. So I ask, what do you mean with the comment? But with like genuine curiosity, not with like trying to manipulate or try to, but like really, I want to know, what are you communicating? And what happens sometimes is that, or they say, I'm sorry, or they explain in a different way what they mean. And sometimes it's legitimate. Like I really learned a lot from people that were giving me like bad comments. And the third strategy I have is, if someone is like really rude or really annoying, or it's like stalking, is to block the people, the person out of my life, because I can do it on social media. And that was like, to me, a really hard learning that I started doing last year, like at the end of last year, because I had a lot of people that were like mocking me about like my genuine and stupid video, using also bestemmie, like, I don't know how to say it in English. Bestemmie in inglese. Like they were saying bad words about gods, and so to me it's like something that I don't like, and to be too much violent, and so I decided to get out of my life.
Do you find that it affects you, that having those kind of negative comments? Does it kind of feel, do you ever feel like you want to stop making certain videos because of it?
Absolutely, yes. A lot of people tell, don't give a fuck, be yourself, but like hate affects everybody. Unless you have like, you don't care about anyone, but if you have like a little bit of empathy, to me, it affects. We can also learn to not be affected and to detach from it, but it's something. So yes, I think I stopped doing, maybe also because it wasn't the time, but like I stopped doing like video where I do stupid stuff, or I do like assage different kind of foods. And now I saw people that are doing the same video with the same topic. Like I saw like a copy of my video like yesterday, where I tasted the watermelon with different flavors, and people are tagging me on the video, say credits to Michele Pierangeli that do it last year. But yes, it's definitely affects.
Do you think that, just based on like what you just said, do you think, I've noticed a lot that there's sort of issues with crediting on TikTok? So kind of, I mean, even recently with the black people on strike on TikTok, kind of refusing to make a dance, and then kind of how ridiculous a lot of the dances that like white people were trying to make. And I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about that, kind of how do you, like, say if you kind of use something that someone else has done, how do you credit it, or how do you feel crediting should happen on TikTok?
Save a recipe that I want to do again, but usually I forgot about it. What I saw from other influencers is just to say in the comments, like, thank you to that person, or giving the credits. That's where this is one of the best practice. Second is like, I'm really conflicted about this, because it's happened to me a lot that people was taking like my content and redo it or without crediting. But in a way, for my vision, in some way, it's okay. So I started doing video about something else, like recipe, when people were doing dancing, and other people started doing recipe. And right now there are a whole number of people that are doing recipe, but it's like, yes, maybe I'm one of the first one, maybe the first one on TikTok Italy doing this recipe, and no one ever credited me, but it's okay. So it's based also on my mission is to also let people to really express themselves, and because I want to be an inspiration. If they do not credit and they do something that maybe is better for the society, it's okay. So it's also part of TikTok copying and doing stuff that people are doing at the same way. So it's part of the network. Yeah, I had another things, but yeah, the last things is that also happens to me that I published the same video as another, exactly the same recipe as another influencer did. And it happened like a few times, like exactly the same. And the people were saying, you stole it from that influencer to her. And the same things happened to her in another video. But it was like we were in the same season with the same material, with the same idea. So it's like we invented the same things at the same time, and happens in human evolution. We happens a lot to go to get to the same idea at the same time, also in different parts of the world. So that's it.
You mentioned in the beginning how making the videos started out as a game to do in your spare time, and then you realized the potential impact and it became more serious. You had like a goal to make one video a day, things like this. And you also mentioned to me before when we met how like a sense of play was like the key impetus for your inspiration behind videos and kind of a larger philosophy of your life. I was wondering if you could like just talk about this idea of play and kind of how it developed over time with your TikTok, with, you know, it being a game, but then kind of the larger impact you could have and maybe the wider context of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So when I started doing videos, because creating videos and also publishing videos give you a lot of rewards, because it gets seen from a lot of people, and you say, oh yes, you can do a lot with just a few. It was like I learned to this reward system to make another video. So it's like a gamification. But that's not was the key. That was an important part, but the most important part was the process, the creative process that I was using to create the videos. So I never had a schedule, editorial plan, I just wanted to make a recipe and create it in the moment, like in the present moment, trying to enjoy my process and playing through the process and making fun with vegetables, letting zucchini speak, and having like the joy to just play and use also my imagination, not only for me, but also for other people. And through that process, I really felt inspired. And this is inspiration, this a sense of like creativity that I felt inside me was the key and the sensation that I was searching. Then I took a goal, make one video a day. And I took it, I think, for more than 1 year. And at first it was good, and I could keep this sense of joy, but then it became a work. And it was more a work than a game, because I have a clear objective, like an extrinsic motivation that was, yes, you need to do this, you have to do it. And because of that, I got a lot of stress to push video, and the quality of my content really went down because I wasn't having a lot of fun. It was like more, yes, this is the recipe, da, 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 da. Yes, I'm enthusiastic about it, but I do not feel it in the deep. And I had a moment where like I saw other people growing a lot, like comparing myself to other creators, and I wasn't growing anymore. And they said, well, okay, maybe I should stop. Maybe I'm burning out. Maybe I'm doing like 5 jobs plus this that is not more a hobby, it became a job, and it's not paying me like enough because I don't want to make money from this. And so I stopped. And I stopped like doing videos for a while, and now I decided to create a new objective that is like more connected to the first period of TikTok. That is more like sharing anything that I love, sharing the moment, sharing the joy that I have, and reconnecting more with that kind of play. And it's going really, really better. Like this.
If you could elaborate on that, Michele. So do you think like TikTok, so why TikTok? Why did you decide to have this like more like playful persona, like you kind of put it on TikTok rather than Instagram? Yeah.
So 2 things. The first one is no one know me on TikTok. I was alone in my space, not like in a place where I have friends, family, and people that know me. And so I could be like a way of myself and showing my intimacy in a way that maybe when you are with family, you are not going to do it. On TikTok, I show the intimacy that I do when I play with my girlfriend. So it's something really intimate for me, and the playful, the funny side of me. And this is the first reason. The second reason is the tool, the technology. So the way you can create videos, it's like super intuitive, super easy. Like, well, you press the button, you shoot 3 seconds. You press the button, you shoot 3 seconds. You say the sentence, you show the things. And something that wasn't possible in any other social network in that way, to create like a small content with meaningful content. You just had like, you have to take the video, make it in a software post-production, publish it, create all the cuts. It was like really a work. And because it was so easy, and it was really possible to me to do it as a game and not as a real work. And also because of the first thing that I told, it was that there was the environment open to this kind of vulnerability, thanks to the trend that were on that time. And they keep like that, show the kind of space.
That's really interesting. And just, sorry, I've so many questions, but just one, like, do you think TikTok can really capture authenticity? Like, because you mentioned authenticity at the start and this kind of realness. Do you think like TikTok somehow has an ability to kind of, for the audience to capture that more, communicate that more?
So it's still a medium. You can show through the video whatever you want. So in a way, yes, I think that thanks to the topics that they brought, like they spoke a lot about also individualities like rights, LGBT, and because there is a community that really value authenticity inside TikTok, and also my feed was about that, because like maybe a feed of someone else is different. I was led to be inspired to do that. Because was the thing that I was searching that found me in some way, because this is, I think, the power of TikTok, that things that maybe you don't know yet to love comes to you in a way. And I think that's the most powerful things that exist, and that made TikTok this kind of tools, that they use behavior, they use they know you better than you in some way, instead of what you like. And so I really appreciate the video that you have done with the 6 probably you that were watching TikToks to see the different feeds. I think this is like super clever as an idea to show like the different behavior and interests of people. So I don't know if I answered to your question.
You did. That's good.
On a similar note as the video with lots and lots of different like algorithms and fields, as you say, like, how much do you use TikTok as a user, and like kind of how invested are you in sort of curating that field for yourself?
So TikTok, it's like the modern cigarette, because it gives you like a lot of novelty, like children and like also older people need less cigarette because they have more TikToks. And I spend time on TikToks when I open something, maybe I go through the comments and I find myself watching videos, and like times get captured, and it goes in a hole and you cannot have it back. But also I learn a lot from that. It's like a way to, in some way, to shut down my brain. So yes, I found myself in this kind of behavior, and that I'm not conscious about. But sometimes I have a sentence that I say to myself that is, are you a consumer or are you a creator? That sentence brings me back to my reality, and say, okay, now that I used all this time, what can I do to create something and to bring value from the time that I spent on TikTok? And so I change, and maybe I rest, I do something else, I read, or I start creating a video. But yes, I feel a lot to be a consumer, but also to be consumed from using TikTok. And that's one of the main reasons because I continue publishing video. Because I know that is a so powerful tool that in some way I found myself on the good side. And in some way, if I stop making video, probably someone else that maybe won't bring the content that I can bring will do it, and people will spend time on TikTok anyway. So you guys, that seems like really cool people, you should do TikToks. You should spread your word. You should spread your passion, your knowledge. I think, like, from the question and the how can I say, bright, and the question that you made, it seems that you're really passionate about the things that you are studying and really curious. And you should really use TikToks to show people that they can change their world and our world.
I have a question about your perspective on TikTok. So we've seen it be used as a political tool, as a community tool, as an educational tool. I just wondered what you think TikTok would be used for next, maybe like next year or in the next 10 years, what you think it would be used for.
Really hard question. The founder of TikTok really, before TikTok, they wanted to create an educational platform, and didn't work. So they created Musical.ly, it worked. and now they are in a way the soul of it is coming back. So I think it will become even more a social network like Instagram and like Facebook, with a lot of new features. Also, right now brands are coming, and so the rules will change a lot. I'm not sure a lot about communities, and depends on what sense you give to communities. Usually community, like, to me, community is people that they can speak and can share together. And even if I call my community a community, it's not a real community. Like they can just see myself and I can read their comments, so it's not an equal relationship. So it's like I have a different meaning to community, to the real community. I think that it will have more economical interest from brands, and so it will have more this kind of way. But brands will have to give what the user of TikTok wants. And right now there are a lot of promotion that are about authenticity. I don't know, Silke Peel, the brand that do razor, asked to influencer to do to show their fragilities, like the scars that they have, and promoting a razor. So I think that the opportunity is that through TikTok, and this is maybe my dream, also brands will better know their audience, and the audience will be more conscious, because a lot of people will publish more interesting and activism video. And so we could really be faster to change the world in a more, how can I say, so like on Instagram, to be followed, to let your video be seen from a lot of people, you need to have a lot of followers. On TikTok, you can have 0 followers and do 6 million. So if a content is cool, and if something is really important, can reach anybody. And I think this is the real power of TikTok. Could be also, if used well, like change really fast the world, also in a positive way and also in a negative way.
What is the relationship? What kind of relationship do you have to your algorithm? Do you think about, because we've been discussing a lot about our algorithms, like, you know, what our relationship to our, bye Joseph.
Thank you.
Yeah, does that like conversation still exist within like kind of the Italian TikTok arena as well, kind of people's relationship to their algorithm? Do you think your algorithm knows you well, or kind of how do you feel about it?
I have a really hard relationship with the algorithm in a way, because so at first I tried to understand how the algorithm works. And you know that when you have interaction, like people comments, likes, share, you get more views. And also when people go till the end, through the end of the video, and they learn their behavior, and so they promote the video to more people. And so there are techniques that allow you to beat or the algorithm, but I think it's not, when you know the basic of the algorithm, that are the more people like your video and go watch your video to the end, the more your content is valuable for them, and the more will be promoted. So that's, I think, the only thing that you need to know. Then there are like music, hashtag, but maybe are secondary, but it's not like the most important. So after you know that, I think that the way is to try to create content that are valuable for people, for you and for other people. But sometimes happens that some topics are not really seen, like I don't know, welcomed. So like I have a friend that right now she feels that she is shadow banned because she is speaking a lot about climate change. And we never know if maybe people got bored or something different happened because it's not time of, it's not the period of the week where we speak about environment, but we speak more about football. So I think it's like a mix from both. So I'm not sure. I don't think about like people that are managing the algorithm, but I think about managing the attention. So the social media manager of TikTok, they cannot manage the algorithm, but they can manage attention of people, what people focus on. They focus on visiting Italy, discovering the region, they focus on climate change, or they focus on football. So that's the things.
That's interesting that you just used the word community, because before you said you didn't think of it as a community. So I was just wondering if you could expand a little bit on that. Like, what if you wouldn't liken it to a community, what kind of words would you use to describe what's going on?
So to me, a community is like, we are a community right now. We can influence directly each other. If we lived in the same place, maybe we can influence even more. It is a kind of community. So it's not the community that I really want. That's the migration that I want to do. Because it's a community where I can influence more like the other people can influence less me. So they can send me a message, but it's not, I don't feel it as a real community. But it's still a community because you can have interaction and you can speak and you can share information, you can share emotion. It's still a community. The right word to me will be followers, or in some way for a business, customers, because they consume your content. They it's not like a really equals community, but this is like, I never thought like really deep about it. I really like to call it community because give a sense of you can influence also me, and it's real because if you send me a message, I answer to you. So that's to me like a community, but it's more a community if you are like a community or influencer could be more a community, people that really have more interaction. But maybe I never thought so deeply about community, and you that are doing anthropology study can give me a different vision of that, and I will be grateful.
It's really interesting to me. I mean, it sounds like the imbalance in knowledge production between an influencer and a consumer doesn't align with your values and ideals about what a community could be. So you kind of see the flaws of these social hierarchies that are forming, and they're probably, you know, mirroring, you know, the trends that are happening outside of the online world, you know, from like a, you know, hyper capitalist society where, you know, the people who are making and are, you know, somehow above and have their own kind of community, like you said, like that's aside from those, and there's not this equal sort of you know, egalitarian sort of community that's happening. But it makes me wonder, like, if there are social media, you know, sort of mechanisms or ways to try to change that. I mean, I think it's one of the ideals that we sometimes apply to social media, similar to these neoliberal ideas about education, that education can allow anyone to, like, you know, tie their bootstraps and make it to the top, and, you know, wherever you come from, you can, you know, education can connect us all. And that often turns out to be very false, because we know that, you know, the backgrounds we come from really structure what we can actually do, regardless of how educated we push to make ourselves. But social media similarly has this idea that, well, anyone can do it, anyone can kind of get out there. And I guess TikTok is different than, say, Instagram, in that, yeah, you can have 0 followers and you can have a trending video, and this can really make a big difference in how you feel about it. But then at the same time, like you said, it still reproduces those same imbalances as well. I don't know if there's really a question there, but it's a really interesting conversation.
I think you got the point. You asked, are there social media that allow this? To me, Discord could be one of the answer. It's not yet there about like letting people move, but it's more like a old style chat forum where you can go there, create a community, or like GitHub. It's like you have a topic that is development, you have tools there, and you have also a community of people that are willing to help you to make your code better, to answer your question. And it's an equal community on GitHub, like a community that are more oriented on doing stuff and evolving instead of consuming. I feel that this is more a community where I can contribute in the same stuff. Any other opinion about that? I'm really curious.
I think kind of you create a community. For me, there is maybe not like a sense of belonging on TikTok. Maybe rather than community, I would use kind of the. And as for me, that doesn't create videos. I just kind of consume it. I just watch it. The algorithm kind of creates a viewing arc for me, and I feel like, and I get kind of, there's like patterns that emerge, and that pattern kind of creates a sense of belonging to somewhere, where kind of, oh, like, you know, I research cryptocurrencies and I get a lot of crypto, and I feel like I kind of understand the crypto jokes, the crypto community within that through this. But there's also kind of more niche things that I'm part of. Like, I feel like I really understood, like, a lot of people that I interviewed kind of said, you know, especially from like LGBTQ communities, that said, like, if I had this at a young age, that, like, you know, so they were like 30 when I interviewed plus, and there's like, oh, if I only had this when I was young, it would be amazing, because I've already like found this community. And I found the same through kind of like younger Sri Lankans that kind of feel like, oh, like, this is a broom that, do every Sri Lankan house have this broom? Or like, you know, this kind of like sharing of experiences that are very everyday, that creates a sense of belonging through, there is a sense of belonging there, I think, for me.
Agree, completely agree. So, okay. So it's not my community. So the things is, my follower are not my community, maybe, but like I am in a community of people. Yeah, and because when I do consultation to I don't know, nonprofits that do want to come into TikTok. They say, but is my target there? Are people that are really passionate about my cause there? And I told them, the problem is not if your target is there, but is if you can create your community. So like anybody can be passionate about animals, but you need to share the content. Maybe not having anybody, but a lot of people can be. If you share the right content, they will. If you speak with the right words, they will. Georgia, what do you think about community?
I'm not really sure. I'm also mostly a consumer of in TikTok land. I've done a couple of videos just to kind of experiment, just to see what was happening. But you know, just videos kind of looking around. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't even in them. I think it's interesting, this kind of sense of belonging that we can find, and it's kind of through a likeness a lot of the time. Like we see something in that content that we relate to, but also I was thinking about this kind of the aspirational quality of it, and the kind of with influencers, of course, that's the product, it's aspiration, it's inspiration. And I was wondering how actually it must be to kind of find yourself in that position to, you know, because I don't know if it was something you kind of had in mind or something you fell into, or I don't know. And also I was wondering, what was your you know, your thoughts about influencers before you became kind of an influencer yourself? Is it strange to be in this position? Is it comfortable?
So, great question. What is change? Nothing in me. So I don't feel to be an influencer. So like, to me, it's strange. Maybe the thing that is strange is sometimes people like know you on the street, and or they sneak picture of you and they do the picture like on the metro, and they say like, say hello, I'm human. So I don't feel like an influencer in a different way as you are influencer. So I believe that each one of us is influencer. The difference is that I can speak to more people with the content that I do. So to me, it didn't change a lot. The things that changed is that I have a bigger support network. That's the thing that struck me a lot. So if I have a problem, I say something and I have like a lot of people that can help me. But on TikTok, even you can do it. But also on Facebook, like when you ask for help on Facebook, people answer. Maybe when you publish a picture of something else, no one comments. But when you ask for help, I need to move, I need this, that it's like a genuine help, people help you. And that's something that changed, that I didn't have before, that gave me more sense of security and power, because I know to have people that support me in some way. I never thought about it, even if like I wanted to achieve, like to change the world. And this is probably one of the steps that allow me to do it. That's it.